Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is my review of the new Teen Titans number 21 and 22. So, jumping into the new Teen Titans issues number 21 and 22, we get a great opening scene with Starfire and Raven jumping in on a Yankees game, and I'm pretty certain this isn't actually what Yankees Stadium is actually built. This is sort of a weird ballpark that George Perez just drew up. But very interesting. They're out to try and stop a terrorist threat. And this is a pretty fun, action-packed opener. And what's really interesting about it is that Marv Wolfman uses the opener to sort of develop the relationship between Raven and Starfire. Starfire is able to locate the bomb, and she's able to save everybody in the stadium. At the same time, she gets in trouble, and Raven's able to save her at the end, and the two of them, in a way, you get an insight to their relationship. You also get a little bit of insider information about Starfire and her romantic struggles with Robin. But it's pretty good, and you also even get some foreshadowing to a future space adventure. One thing that's really interesting when you look at these new Teen Titan issues is, and this is true of all 80s comics, again, super compressed storytelling. There is so much in every single panel. And it's in the beginning, it can be a little bit over the top, but honestly, I read through these things and I just love every second of it. There's just so much story packed in every single panel. So we jump over to another character that we were introduced earlier to called Marcy. She was sort of the ex-girlfriend of Cyborg, and she's being chased to death, and she's running away from some cult-like church. And in the middle of her running away, she tries to call on Cyborg to help her out, but Cyborg is unfortunately too late, and she's murdered by the cult. Really, really great emotional storytelling, because most of us who have been following Teen Titans up to now know that Cyborg, the relationship between him and this girl was deep, and her leaving him when he became Cyborg was a great strain on himself. You get a lot of pages also of Marv Wolfman showing the effect that this death has on Cyborg and even Cyborg's friends. Marv Wolfman just injects pure human emotion into all of these Teen Titan issues, and it's freaking fantastic. They discover the villain of this main arc, which is Brother Blood, and he's a pretty evil son of a bitch. You get your first introduction to him. He basically executes a member of his church that isn't performing to his expectations. Brother Blood is a really interesting character. He's a cult leader sort of villain archetype, but he has a little more depth than that. And it's kind of explained later that essentially every Brother Blood is 100 years old and then gets replaced by the next Brother Blood. It's pretty cool. And the way that Marv Wolfman kind of approaches this character is more straightforward. And at times you could think that, oh, well, straightforward, what's so interesting about that? But he really plays on the allure of naked power that Brother Blood has. And it kind of explains a lot of the other situations for how he rose and how he became this powerful. Moving over, the Teen Titans attempt to infiltrate Brother Blood's cult. And they eventually get found out. And Brother Blood proceeds to just spank the shit out of the Teen Titans. Just absolutely trashes Robin, Flash, Wonder Girl, and Raven, in little order, and it's really, really good. You kind of get left on an interesting cliffhanger in 21, and that moves you into 22, which is sort of the resolution of the story of a sort. So going into 22, we get back to Cyborg, Starfire, and Beast Boy, who were left behind, because there was no way, because of the way they looked, that they'd be able to infiltrate Brother Blood's church. And you get really interesting back and forth. Cyborg is pissed because it's his girl who got murdered, and he wants to get vengeance, but Beast Boy, is sort of the logical one of the group, trying to stop Cyborg from making a rash decision. And they end up getting into a conflict with each other. In addition, you get some sort of side information here about Starfire, Coriander, who is not so happy that she gets left behind because she just wants to get into the action. And she's also kind of venting her own, frustrations with Robin. Some of them, logical, and some of them potentially more romantic frustrations. But you get a really great conflict in between them before Raven comes over and asks for their help to go save the team. When we get back over to Brother Blood, it's really fascinating. You get a great couple panels and scenes of Robin basically getting tortured by Brother Blood's cult. And you really get, up until now, Robin has kind of been, okay, it's Robin from Batman, whatever. He does acrobatic things and flies around. But this issue actually really develops Robin a lot more. He's able to resist the tortures and attempts of coercion by Brother Blood. He gets sent into a pit with all of his unconscious Teen Titan allies. And within that pit, he does everything in his power to try to save the lives of his teammates while a huge vicious monster attempts to kill everyone. And you really get all the dialogue and inner monologue and thought bubbles that Robin has is fantastic as he tries his best using only his human powers to save his team. Really, really nice, and it's a great example of why thought bubbles should have been gotten rid of. These are where they come out. It wouldn't make sense for Robin to talk all this crap while he's running around trying to save his teammates' lives, and it's sort of the lost art of the 80s that is no longer used anymore. In the meantime, you get the rest of the team crashes in on Brother Blood and his cult, but you get the real master plan that Brother Blood always had in the very beginning, which he was going to manipulate the Teen Titans into essentially making him out to be a martyr. The Teen Titans attack Brother Blood. He attempts to escape. Cyborg comes after him and crashes his plane. Little does he know that the plane doesn't have Brother Blood in it, and the entire thing was a ruse to have the press basically capture the Teen Titans attacking, a supposedly innocent man and murdering him on live television. It's really, really good, and Brother Blood escapes via submarine and laughing his ass off while he has a really hot blonde at his side. It's great storytelling because the Teen Titans, despite their powers and despite their abilities, basically get spanked both physically and mentally by Brother Blood. And you're getting, everyone kind of makes it out except for there's no revenge or resolution for Cyborg other than to realize that he's just been duped. But it builds up this villain perfectly. You kind of get an idea of who Brother Blood is. He's no pushover. He's very, very formidable. And he pretty much outclasses the Teen Titans in these two issues. Yeah, man. In addition, you get a nice little teaser at the end of the next story arc of the Teen Titans, which is sort of an unwanted family reunion for Starfire. So what do I think? Easy. These two issues are fucking amazing. If you haven't read the Teen Titans, this is definitely a couple issues that you should pick up and check out if you're a collector. If not, you could always pick up the trade paperbacks. This one is the new Teen Titans Volume 4 in my hand. But yeah, man, can't go wrong. Marv Wolfman and George Perez just were, they made these characters and they made this team. And if you've only watched the Teen Titans on the stupid Cartoon Network and never have read the original comic books, I cannot recommend enough all of these comics by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. They are really, really good. Anyhow, let's take a look at the art here. So this is, I guess, our first introduction of Brother Blood. It's a really nice, almost half-page spread of Brother Blood and a hot blonde, which seems to be a recurring theme of Brother Blood, is him, looking badass and having a really hot blonde next to him. So I kind of kept with George Perez, Romeo Tanghal, and Adrienne Roy's art. In particular, I am a huge fan of Adrienne Roy coloring Brother Blood's eyes yellow. I think it gives Brother Blood a really crazy maniacal look, and it's really, really good choice of colors, especially when you consider in those days coloring was not particularly unique. And in honor of that, I did both pencils, inks, and colors. I don't do colors often. I need to practice more. These are just flats, so there's nothing really impressive. A real colorist could do this in like a couple minutes, but not too bad. I want to get more into coloring and really learn how to render and do all the cool shit that people do in Photoshop, but don't have a ton of time, so in this case I just kind of messed around with the lasso tool and got it flatted out pretty nicely. Anyhow, that's the video. Please let me know what you think. If you like the video or the art, please smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed and you're thinking of subscribing, just hit that subscribe button. You'll have a lot of fun. Really trying to up the quality of my videos and make them more entertaining and enjoyable. And if you do subscribe, please hit that bell for notifications. You'll know when any of my videos come out, usually on a weekly basis. And for those of you sticking around with the channel, next week I will have the New Mutants Special Edition #1. New Mutants Go to Asgard. Really, really cool special. And in addition, I will try to also get Secret Wars #2. I'm going to kind of rotate every other week, jumping between Marvel, DC, manga, and BDs, and really try to get a variety going on the channel. Make sure, it doesn't get too old with what I'm trying to cover. Anyhow, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.